Sir, kindly do let me know if I can start the session. Yes, I can hear you now. Oh. Thank you so much, sir, firstly, for that kind introduction. I think it's just about us coming across opportunities on how we can give back to our country. The country has given me a lot growing up. I would want to really give back to the country in whatever little ways I can. And I think tourism is a marvelous way of giving back because you get to travel and you get to learn while you get to contribute as well. So without much ado, since this is a weekend and it's a Saturday, I know a lot of you may not be really interested in very technical presentations. So I'm going to keep my presentation limited to very few slides, giving you a glimpse of what Lakshadweep is and what is it like, all the buzz that has happened now about Lakshadweep. I would give you a little sneak peek into the before we get into a conversation and you can ask me as many questions. I'm sure you all have a lot of questions about Lakshadweep right now. So I'll just share my screen and present to you. 1 second. I hope my screen is visible, if someone can confirm.
Yes.
Thank you. So to begin with, let me tell you that Lakshadweep is the smallest union territory of India. It's a uni-district union territory, and there are about 36 islands, and it is in the Arabian Sea. Well, quite fascinating and quite surprising, I would say. Before I got posted here, whenever I used to talk about Lakshadweep, people used to ask me, where is Lakshadweep? Does one require passport to come to Lakshadweep? All such questions. But I'm glad that after PM's visit, all those queries have gone and people have finally understood where Lakshadweep is, what is Lakshadweep. So to give you a brief intro, there are about 36 islands, out of which only 10 islands are inhabited, which you can see in this map. And the capital of Lakshadweep is Kavarati Island, which is where I stay. And although the land area of Lakshadweep Islands is only 32 square kilometer, it has a vast lagoon area of 4,200 square kilometers. And the heart, as they say, although the land is small, the heart of people here in Lakshadweep is too big. And that's why I've stayed here. Like, it's been over a year, and every day is just a discovery for me to learn more about the islands. Well, to talk about the population is around 65,000 and spread across these 10 islands. Temperature-wise, monsoon does affect the islands here, and the best time to visit would probably be October to May. The only airport in Lakshadweep is in Agatti Island, and it has a daily flight from Kochi. Now, Alliance Air has announced an additional flight. And you can reach Lakshadweep Islands from Kochi. Kochi is the main gateway from the mainland to reach the islands of Lakshadweep. You can either reach the islands by flight, or you could come by ship. Currently, there are 3 ships flying between the mainland and the islands. And now you might think, how do we travel between the islands? So for that, we have high-speed craft vessels, which are stationed at Kavaratti, and every morning they go to the respective islands and come back. So that is how the inter-island transportation works. And so although you would also know that these islands are highly ecologically sensitive islands, which is why very few islands are actually open for tourism, and where tourism activities are available right now. Renowned island, and the only island island resort in Lakshadweep. The whole island has only the resort there, so it's an uninhabited island. It's very close to Agatti Island. And you have Kavaratti Island, Kalpeni, Minicoy, and Kadmat. Kalpeni Island recently, last year, was awarded the Best Tourism Village in the Best Tourism Village competition of Ministry of Tourism. Minicoy Island is far away from the other islands, and it is very close to Maldives. Interestingly, the language that is spoken in Minicoy, Mahal, is the same language which is spoken in Maldives as well. And culture-wise also, since it's very much isolated from the northern group of islands, the way the people live, the lifestyle is also very much different. And you also have Kadmat Island. Kadmat Island also has an educational institution which offers a tourism course. Now, certain things about Lakshadweep. One requires permit to come here, and it is the permit is issued by the Lakshadweep administration. And also, one thing that people need to understand is that it's very different from the mainland. Initially, only very recently, we've got internet here, high-speed internet. Before that, network was an issue, and only BSNL and Airtel works here. Airtel works only in Kavaratti and Agatti Island. The other islands, BSNL works. Now, to talk about the USPs of Lakshadweep, of course, you would have seen the photos and videos, and white sandy beaches is certainly something which will take your breath away, and crystal clear sea water. As I talk to you, right in front of me, I can spot the lagoons. Like my office is just right opposite to the lagoon, so I can see the crystal clear water, which inspires the poet in me. And you have shallow lagoons where you can be mesmerized by the marine ecosystem of Lakshadweep. You have breathtaking corals and marine life. And most importantly for me, having stayed here for over a year, what has taken my breath away is the heartwarming hospitality of people. Also, to let you know, this is Lakshadweep is probably one of the safest places I have traveled to. And as a solo female traveler, I always find it so easy to travel here, and it's just very safe and sound. Also, let me tell you that Lakshadweep has the lowest crime rate, one of the lowest crime rates in India. So that talks about how safe the destination is, safety being a very important aspect of any tourist destination. And also, Lakshadweep has one of the highest literacy rates in India. Among the UTs, it's the maximum. After Kerala, it's the only UT or state with the highest literacy rate. Now, these are the tourism islands that as I had mentioned to you. Agatti is the island which has the only airport of Lakshadweep. Bangaram has the only island resort of Lakshadweep. Kavarati is the capital city. Kalpeni is the closest to the mainland and is known for its there are two islands very close to Kalpeni, and its Kumail Beach Resort is renowned for the kind of unique experience it gives. Kadmat Island is Kadmat and Minikoy Island both are also proud recipient of the Blue Flag Beach certification. So the beaches are extremely clean here, and one could, as you can see in the photos, one could actually spot the amazing diversity and the attractiveness of these islands, while also keeping in mind how fragile these islands could be. Now, to talk about the potential tourism segments of Lakshadweep, as I believe you are from the tourism department, you would try to understand any destination from how tourism could be looked at. Cruise tourism is something which is a game changer for the islands, I would say, because it brings not only it brings about huge revenue to the islands. It also brings about hope and scope of development for the local communities here, because it gives a lot of livelihood opportunities, right? So at present, Cordelia Cruises is visiting Lakshadweep like every week. Once in a week, they have a visit to Agatti Island. So the tourists come in the morning and they get around 4-5 hours of shore excursion that they do here. And beach tourism is one thing, leisure tourism. People mostly come here for leisure activities. You have huge scope for water sports activities, which includes amazing places for scuba diving and snorkeling. MICE tourism is also something that can be looked at. Wedding tourism and film tourism is also something that could be promoted here, given the exotic attractiveness of the islands. So I would just want to take you on a virtual visit to the islands before we head through some questions. So this is where I live. This is Kavarati Island. One second. Agatti Island, so that was Kavarati, and Agatti Island, the airstrip is known to be one of the most breathtaking airstrips in India. So I would just want to show you how the landing, the view that you have. And this is another video which Incredible India had posted. I'm sure most of you have seen this video before, have watched this video before. Incredible India. So that was from the top, the panoramic view that you have. Now something which is of the islands, the marine life. This is taken, the video is shot by 3 interns that we had from Pondicherry University. And this is the fun that they had during snorkeling. Yes, so I wouldn't want a lot of technical presentation. So yeah, I would end with the slides there. But please let me know whatever questions you all have. I'd be glad to take and tell you more about the islands. Right, sir. Sir, so basically, I will respond to that by saying, how do we define luxury? Like, Lakshadweep follows a principle as the islands are very ecologically fragile. The principle that is followed here is high value, low volume tourism because there is carrying capacity issue here. And also, it's not just that, they want to cater only to the high end segment. However, the connectivity that you see, right now there is limited connectivity options that are available, which is why it does feel like it is on the higher end. So right now the administration as well as the ministry is looking at streamlining the tourism industry here so that best experiences can be put forward to tourists who want to visit. Currently, as I said, there are three types of very limited options for staying and as well as transportation options more likely. So you have options to stay in Kavrati, Minikoi, and Bangaram as well as Agati. But with streamlining of tourism operations here, I think we can expect more opening up of more segments. Having said that, I think it is also very much important to take into consideration the impact tourism creates on the on any tourist destinations. So, which is why it's a very carefully planned execution of tourism that is happening in the islands. It would come up very soon, and even now, if one can book flight tickets from Kochi to Agati and go back by flights, because limited booking on ship tickets might get a bit complicated for people. So yeah, that's the reason why at present it is limited.
I have one comment to make, if I may say that.
Yes, sir.
See, you have presented very well, and I think this will go a long way in promoting tourism. But the point which has been missed here, and probably in your next presentation you can make that as well. We opened 2 colleges in Kadamat Island last year, and the administration was so kind that one of the areas which was reserved for developing a campus for Pondicherry University, that was allotted to us, and that area has been named by the administration as Pondicherry within Kadamat. Small area, but then it is called Pondicherry now. It is there. There is a board also. 2 colleges we have opened for the benefit of islanders. Otherwise, they were rushing to mainland for their degrees. Now they can do it there. And one polytechnic we have opened in Minikoi, just to promote the technical side of the education. So these 3 institutions are there for the benefit of islanders exclusively, and all the seats are reserved for them. Therefore, this can also be highlighted so that people would know that the education has also taken off in Lakshadweep. That's all. Thank you very much, please. Well presented otherwise.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. In fact, in Kadmat, the college that is, that is operated by Pondicherry University, we have a UR tourism club there, and the students who have taken up these hospitality and tourism courses, they're always, whenever I interact with them, they're always thankful for the opportunity Pondicherry University has given them, because they're able to see themselves as a tourism professional in the coming years. So thank you to Pondicherry University for that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it depends on what kind of tourist are you. Like if you are more into adventure tourism, so you have a lot of adventure activities here, which include scuba diving, snorkeling, banana boat ride, and glass bottom boat ride. So it depends on which island you are visiting and what kind of tourist you are. If you're someone who is more into adventure, 2 to 3 days, on an ideal scale, I think 3 to 4 days would be really fine. Yes, sir. Yes, sure. Sure, sir. So, as I had mentioned in the presentation, one requires a permit to visit these islands. And get the permit, there's an online portal where you could apply. But before that, you would require a police clearance certificate from your nearest police station. So, that depends on, that varies from state to state, how much time the state administration, police administration takes to give you the police clearance certificate. And for getting the permit, you either need a sponsor from the islands, or you need someone from the islands to write you a sponsorship letter. Based on that, you can get a permit, or you can get a tourist permit. For getting tourist permit, you can book any of the packages, tour packages, or you can book a tourist accommodation with Lakshadweep Tourism, which is a sports. They have their own properties here in Kavarati, Bangaram, and Minikoy. You could book that, and they would help you get the tourist permit as well. So that is one thing, that without permit, you cannot travel to Lakshadweep, and you would not be able to enter the islands of Lakshadweep. Yes, in Kochi, there is the booking and information office of Lakshadweep Tourism Sports. I could also share the details with you, so maybe you can pass it on. So they have their office in Kochi. They will be more than more than willing to help you out. Also, there's the department website, tourism website, samudram.utl.gov.in. You can check there also. You'll get all the information. And the district website also has the link for the permit, online permit. So once you get your permit, you will, after you get your permit, you can book your tickets either by ship or flight, depending on availability. At present, availability of flight tickets is a concern, but then there's additional flight by Alliance Air, so one can plan way ahead once the permit is received. Sure. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. So, as I had mentioned, the Lakshadweep Tourism Office, they have their booking and information office there, and they will be able to help. I can share the contact details of their office as well. You can always drop a mail to them with your queries also. They'll be happy to help. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Carrying capacity studies have been conducted for the islands, and whatever tourism development happens here is in alignment with the suggested carrying capacity. The maximum number of tourists that the islands can hold at any given point of time, it is only in accordance to that. So. It is also very much important to understand the responsibility that tourists have. And in that way, I would be very happy to say that the UT administration as well as the government is very conscious in educating the tourists as well as the islanders about the aspects of ecological conservation. Yes, sir. I think, thank you for the question. And it is something that is of paramount importance, not just to Lakshadweep, for any tourist destination which has a fragile ecology. Lakshadweep being one of those locations which is highly ecologically sensitive. So the importance of us being responsible tourists is huge. Sometimes, there are a lot of times when a lot of waste comes ashore here in the islands, which is not even the waste that is generated from the islands. A lot of plastic waste that comes here. So as a good principle, good practice that I see here, you don't really find a lot of plastic here as such. So you have glass bottles here, that is something. And as a responsible tourist, one needs to be very careful about the impact we create and the footprint we create as we visit any destination, which is why it is very much important to know about the islands, as one of our campaigns is about learn before you travel, wherein we want to really help tourists also understand better about the ecology of the place as well as the culture and heritage aspects, because I think that is one thing that also gets left out. The kind of hospitality the people here have towards the tourist who visit, and the kind of culture that has grown here, that is something that we would, one needs to learn also. So it's always good to learn about any tourist destination before you plan your travel, so that you can have a very good experience. Also, planning way ahead helps you understand that this place is also prone to weather change. So, it may not go as per you plan. So sometimes plans might go here and there. So you'll have to be prepared for that also. But all in all, I think once tourists come here, they are just mesmerized by the beauty of the islands, so much so that they feel so protective towards the islands. So we've always seen tourists who have really been so cooperative and always willing to learn more about the islands. So interestingly, there is limited fresh water available here. Yes, that's there. But one of the projects that was also launched and informed by the Honorable PM when he visited here was the National Institute of Open Technology seawater to freshwater, seawater to drinking water facility that we have. So we do drink, we have NIOT plants here which do the desalination of seawater, and that is how we get the water here in the islands, which is almost as good as the water that we get on the mainland. So I'm not able to hear you, sir. No problem. Yes, there is the only wildlife sanctuary here in Lakshadweep. The Pretty Bird Sanctuary is the one where it's a birding hotspot, and for birding enthusiasts, it's one place that they can visit. However, permissions are required since it's a restricted island. Permissions from the Department of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is required. Yes, sir. It depends on the respective department because this is related to medical. So they'll have to reach out to the Department of Health Sciences and probably see if there is an opportunity available and accordingly contact them and then get it. So, no. Yes, sir. As I had mentioned, Kalpeni is the island which got the Best Tourism Village award it's a competition which is organized by Ministry of Tourism to honor tourism villages across India. It received the best tourism village in the silver category. So Kalpeni, Kavarati and Minikoy are 3 islands which were part of Samudram package this year. Samudram package is a ship-based cruise package which is operated by Lakshadweep Tourism, and which is operated by Lakshadweep Tourism, which is sports. And you have, it's a 5-night package, 4-night, 5 days package, where you visit 3 islands. And in Kalpeni, Kalpeni has the only hosiery factory where they produce handmade like cotton bunions, and it's the only hosiery factory of Lakshadweep. It also has an island, Cheriam Island, and it is renowned for its Kumel Beach Resort and Pitti Island, which is very close to the Kalpeni and to Kalpeni Island, the major island, and also Kalpeni has the first graduate of Lakshadweep, so it's if you see, a lot of doctors, engineers, and teachers are from Kalpeni Island. So highly educated society, one would see in Kalpeni. So currently, guidelines for homestays are expected to be streamlined soon. So once that is in place, we would be able to do. Also, I'd like to inform that it's a predominantly Muslim culture. So per homestay concept, there's a doubt in that, but we do have tourist homes, and also there is so there's tourist homes, and guidance for the same is expected in some time. So yeah, that would help plan in advance. Ma'am, currently home. So basically, you have resorts here which start from around 5,000, and the Bangaram Island Resort has about 18,000 to 22,000 per night. So that's an exclusive high-end experience. You also have few lodges and stays here in Lakshadweep, which would vary from 1,000 to 2,000. However, one needs to check with the authorized travel agents. There are few authorized travel agents by Lakshadweep Tourism with whom they can check in advance, and depending on the island, it varies from island to island. Why is Lakshadweep under the threat of rising sea level? Well, okay, because I think one obvious reason is because it is located in the sea. So unfortunately, a lot of things Lakshadweep is a victim to rising sea levels, climate change, and one could feel the effect of it. Whatever we do on mainland or say in the cities is the impact, the direct effect of it is felt in islands, in isolated places like these, where people may not even contribute so much to pollution. And it's just very unfortunate. So I think it's a gentle reminder to everyone who's there on mainland or who's there outside, far away from these isolated places, to start being responsible and start with small basic steps wherein you can contribute to climate conservation as well as ecological conservation. Sure. as I had mentioned earlier, it is one of the safest places that I have been visited. I have stayed in. Like I grew up in army cantonments, so I could feel that sense of safety here in Lakshadweep. And travelers, and the people here are so friendly and hospitable. So for instance, I'll just give an anecdote from my own experience. I'm a vegetarian, and to survive as a vegetarian on an island that depends for everything on mainland is a task. But the people here are so sweet that they always help me out with whatever best. Like whenever they spot any vegetable or any fruit or vegetable comes from mainland, they give me a call and tell that, we've got new supply, so please go and buy. So I think that shows the kind of care they take towards outsiders here. So I've never felt as an outsider in the island, which is why I always say that Lakshadweep is my home, if not like after Bondi. So yeah, Lakshadweep is love for me for those reasons. So safety wise, it's the safest, and as I said, crime rate is the lowest in India. It's among the lowest in India, which means that the safety system here is extremely extremely good, and one can explore the islands at one's own time, pace, and and the best part is these islands are very tiny. So I go on cycling a trip on the whole island, and I finish it around like half an hour to 45 minutes. Like the whole island you cover. So which means that you can do things at your own as well. Okay, so that local commissioner office, I think, is your respective state or UT. Like like we've had guests from few UTs, and they have got the clearances without much hustle. Like currently, I'm not in a position to comment on the respective administration, but I hope, as a tourist enthusiast, I think I would also hope that the clearances part get sorted. But also, it's just about compliances. Like as we think of it, like if we visit abroad, like when we apply for visa processes, we do comply by these conditions, right? So if we have documents in place, there are states which issue these police clearances very soon, and it gets sorted. So more than the permit, also one requires to understand that how are you going to plan your trip here in Lakshadweep? Where are you going to stay? Or if you have a sponsorship letter, so that makes it easy. So you need to think through that before you apply, before you plan your final trip to Lakshadweep.
How is the infrastructure of medical?
Yes, ma'am. It brings a check. Also, because if you see, these islands are also strategically located in India's geography. Also, they have strategic importance. Also, so that is why we also need to adhere to these security clearances, because we want our country to be safe at the end of the day, right? So, I would look at it that from that perspective. Yes, rise in sea temperature and global temperatures is impacting. Rise in global temperature is impacting the marine life here. There is coral bleaching happening, and loss of marine diversity is also a big threat. But having said that, let me tell you about an interesting project that Department of Science and Technology has initiated here. They have coral nurseries, which is basically planting corals in the lagoon area, so that regenerating the whole marine diversity here. So that's one thing that is extremely really inspiring. And we, like as part of our Yuva Tourism Club activities, the school students had an opportunity to visit these coral nurseries and learn about it. The UT administration is doing commendable work with regards to conservation of the environment here, and especially with projects like Coral Nursery. I think it's one really inspiring step towards our commitment towards the environment conservation in the islands. So, okay, so yes, I think that would be better. Like they will be able to guide you better on that, whether they can, that someone can. Public transport facility. Okay, yeah, that is something fascinating. Even like I learned, like, it's different. Like when I had come here, we did not have good internet. So I was so used to Uber, Ola, and booking on the go kind of a person. I was in Delhi before this. So it was a complete transition for me. And here you don't have. So here you have auto stand. And it's so nice. You just call the auto stand and you tell them where exactly you are, because it's a very tiny island. So everybody knows all the landmarks. So they'll come pick you up and drop you at the place you want. And that is auto is one public transportation that is available here, because the island is too small, too tiny. You don't have buses, or you don't really have, for that matter, you don't really have a lot of cars also here. It works for me. Like I really like places like these. And you can go on your own cycle or two-wheelers, like if you want personal. So for the number of people that reside in Lakshadweep, the medical facility is good. It is good. Also, there is heli ambulance here. Like there's one main hospital here in Kavarati. The few other places there are PHCs, and yes, whenever there is an emergency, we have to rely on medical evacuation, and Kochi is the nearest place where patients get evacuated to. So yes, that is a thing. But for tourists, when tourists come here, that is one thing that I have also observed as an outsider per se, that tourist safety is taken utmost care. Tourist safety and comfort is given utmost care. So when a tourist comes here, you would actually feel like all your needs are taken care of. So whenever you head out for any water sports activities, or you do anything, you are very well escorted to minimize the possibilities of any medical emergency that may arise. Yes, there are hospitals here, and there is medical care available. Probably not as much as the mainland, but yeah, sufficient for the people that are here. And government is also taking efforts to improvise on the medical infrastructure. Contact point for assistance. So basically, since whatever movement happens here is tracked, so when you come here, your entry point is noted. When you go, your exit point is also noted. So your movement is known. So one knows where you are, what is happening, and if there is any grievances that one might have, the tourism authorities are also here the booking for any information that you would want, you can always reach out to the Lakshadweep Tourism Office, booking office and information office. They'll be able to help you out with any information that you would require. And more so when you plan a trip, because there is limited availability of resources, right? So your plan is like your travel is fully planned beforehand. So they know what exactly you will be doing, what will be your requirements, and you will always have one resource person with you who will be helping out you with whomsoever you plan. You will always have someone at your disposal to help you out. And otherwise also, the place, like the people here are so friendly, like as I had mentioned, so they are always ready to help you out. Like there are times when I'm a solo traveler, so sometimes I want my solitude, but there are times when people think that does she want any help, they come eagerly and ask, do you want any help? So that's the kind of comfort they want to give to the outsiders. Yes, so I've mentioned Malayalam, Jesri, and Mahal is spoken. Jesri is a dialect, it's kind of a dialect of Malayalam, has similarities to Malayalam. It is spoken in all the islands except Minicoy. Minicoy, due to its close proximity to Maldives. Also, the language spoken in Minicoy is Mahal, which is the same language which is spoken in Maldives. And people also speak in Hindi here, Tamil, the South Indian languages, as well as they also understand English. A lot of them, it's only government schools that are here, and they understand Hindi and English. I do not speak any of these languages, but I've been able to survive here for over a year, which shows that it's much easier. They know. People who are there in the tourism sector understand Hindi and English also. So I had mentioned monsoon does have an impact on the islands. You could visit from October to May is the best time that one could visit. And when the monsoon doesn't has its impact here, in advance, best time, best views that you find underwater also. Otherwise also you can visit till May is the season. After that it gets, because of monsoon, the weather is so bad, so you don't have inter-island transportation also, so that is limited. So that is why you can't really, you would want to plan it in October to say May. It's not per day per se, but yeah, so the carrying according to the carrying capacity that is advised for the respective islands, the tourist flow is there. Also, if you see, there's the aircraft that comes from Kochi to Lakshadweep. Agati is only it's a small aircraft. It's the ATR aircraft, so it has very limited people. So you have a perfect count, a check on the number of people that come. So yeah. Yes. Also, as I had said, that this is also a strategically important place. So you do have restrictions on drone photography as such. So you need to take prior permission. Culture-wise, I think the basic respect that one needs to have towards the cultural sensitivity of any tourist destination is the same protocol that needs to be followed here as well. Right. So in principle, with the sustainability aspects, tourism here, as you come, the footprint that you have as a tourist is very minimal, because you have whatever you do here is takes you only very close to nature. So you are doing very low impact activities here. Also, there are you tend to have experiences which let you learn more about the culture, the cuisine here. And let me tell you one thing, that every aspect of the island here will fascinate you as an outsider, as a tourist. There's so much to learn, and it goes beyond just adventure tourism, or it goes beyond just snorkeling or scuba diving. The culture is so interesting, it's very different. And also, just to tell you that it's a matrilineal society here, so it's very different from a lot of places. So the property gets inherited in the girl's name, and the groom goes to the bride's house after the marriage. So it also shows the status of women, the powerful status that women hold in the society. Minicoy was, for a very long time, also has been documented in history as an island of women. So that is something, it's a very progressive society in terms of, given the fact that it also has one of the most leading literacy rates in India. It's a very different experience that one would get here. Yes, sir, most certainly, sir. Also, if you want to get some information about tourism here, Lakshadweep Tourism has its own Instagram page, so you can all get connected there and ask your queries to them there. And always, I'm always here to help you out with whatever best I can. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Very well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity given. I hope I was able to help you out with the information. Looking forward to meeting you in Lakshadweep. Thank you, sir. Sure, sir. Certainly. Pondicherry also happens to be my home, so I will visit sometime, sir. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.